Hey, what's up, guys? We're trying something new for Put It on the Board here. We're gonna start making YouTube videos instead of being live on Twitch. We just feel like there's gonna be more opportunity for growth that way. And for this episode, we are doing van life.
Woo! Van life.
Yeah, van life. Let's go. Yeah, so starting us off here, the hashtag van life movement has more than 6 million posts on Instagram. The nomadic lifestyle has likely become more popular because of flexible work arrangements and the gig economy, and the minimalism movement, according to USA Today.
Well, that's the thing, man. Yeah, I didn't know anything about this. So, if 6 million posts is quite a big community that's kind of growing right now.
Yeah, and they say it's like growing every day too, which is pretty amazing.
That's wild.
Yeah, so some fun van life vocabulary here. One is wanderlust, a strong desire or impulse to wander or travel and explore the world.
I have a desire to, for wanderlust sometimes.
Yeah, do you want to just explore the US or do you want to go everywhere?
Everywhere, bro.
Me too, man. That's one of the big reasons why I want to do that Europe trip.
Right, right.
Look forward to vlogs on that coming in October.
Can't wait.
Another van life vocabulary word here is a vagabond, a person who travels often with no settled home.
Different to a hobo,
Yeah, of course, of
or
course.
maybe a fancy, word for hobo. But either way, there you go.
Yeah, it just sounds fancy,
It does.
man.
If a
And
hobo said that to
then
me, I'd be freaking like, oh, like, can I get you some champagne or something, sir?
all right, the next one we got here is conversion, the act of transforming a normal vehicle into a livable home on wheels.
I actually own an Astrovan, and I've seen so many like Astrovan conversions. So this is why this is a really interesting topic for me, honestly.
Dude, that is freaking sweet. I forgot you owned an Astro van.
Hmm.
You think you'd ever do it?
Dude, I mean, it's a possibility.
Oh,
Honestly, I'm not never say never.
dude, if you do it, I'll buy a van and I'll join you.
That sounds good.
Del and Tony road trip across the world.
Coming soon, October.
We're gonna drive our vans to Europe.
Everything's happening in October, baby.
I love it.
So they'll go into exactly what is van life then.
Well, I got a quote here from comelife.com, and it says the term van life represents more than just vehicle dwelling. It embodies a shift in the way people are thinking and a movement that's sweeping across our generation's mindset. Van life is a subculture of nomadic individuals embracing minimalism on a journey to reassess what is truly important for a happy and balanced life.
Good for them.
Yeah, dude, it just sounds awesome.
It does.
So Tony, you've done a little research too, and what makes van life so appealing?
Van life has been blowing up social media lately, especially on Instagram, where you can search hashtag van life and be exposed to over 3 million posts. This number is only expected to grow at a rapid rate.
Hashtag van
So,
life.
yeah, dude, people are just growing and are actually, getting invested in this lifestyle. Very different from the common person. Many van lifers have been documenting their entire journeys on Instagram and other social media, of course, making the platform the most popular social network for van lifers. While YouTube and Facebook may slowly start to catch up, with its growing popularity, a lot of van lifers have been given the opportunity of being sponsored or interviewed by huge brands and businesses. That's wild.
Dude, I would love that so much.
Yeah, seriously. And also, the nomadic lifestyle is no longer cluttered with the old stereotype, such as the smelly hippie or the unemployed deadbeat, as this is slowly being dissolved as part of the culture.
Yeah, because when you usually think of like van lifing, you always think, "Oh, dude, it's just that weird guy who's all alone in his van by the river," you know?
Well, yeah, that's the thing, right? I've always associated it with hippie culture, but obviously that's not the case anymore. It's becoming more of that minimalist lifestyle that people are wanting to have. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely becoming more mainstream, it seems.
Yeah, dude.
And it seems like social media is just letting these people live their dreams.
Exactly.
Yeah, so just one awesome aspect of it then is like the freedom you get of it, where you can feel like new excitement each day without going through that same old boring routine that you get stuck in with everyday life.
Dude, it can get boring, I'll tell you that much.
I know, man. It just seems every day like we're living the same day over and over again with this work routine.
Exactly.
Yeah. And a lot of van lifers get to do what they love, which is super
I
cool.
mean, when you have that freedom, right? What can stop you?
Yeah, and they get to set their own schedule. A lot of the times they're their own boss. You get to kind of build your own lifestyle that really aligns with your desires.
Super jealous.
I know, man, me too.
Super jealous as we go through this. I'm super jealous.
I feel like just taking like a year or two in van lifing would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get to experience like all the good views across the country. Just live a really flexible lifestyle overall.
You basically do whatever you want, right? I mean, there's nothing stopping you.
Yeah, you really got that independence that I feel like everybody kind of desires in their life.
Yeah, and it's cool that you can make your own choices as well.
Right. There's also a lot of simplicity to it. Kind of like we were talking about living that minimalistic lifestyle.
Right, right. And that's another thing altogether that, it's another culture in
Right.
and of itself.
Kind of the min max live only by your means culture,
Sure.
which is really sustainable and I think kind of where a lot of society now is heading.
Kind of a fusion of the both cultures, right? The van and, the um, people who enjoy, like traveling and, being minimalist is kind of the best of both worlds.
Right. I remember one time, man, I was camping in Arizona and we were staying at this lake and one guy converted like a pickup truck.
Hmm.
He was like the coolest dude, man. He said he made a lot of money working at a casino. So he was able to take some time off and just travel around.
That's crazy.
Yeah, this was a super cool dude.
Awesome.
Yeah. That just goes to explain these awesome experiences that these people get to have.
Definitely, man.
Yeah, and they got to solve problems that everyday life wouldn't throw at them, and then once they're able to figure out a solution to these problems, it's super validating.
Right, right. It's just it's an experience that really can be matched with anything else.
Totally, man. And that makes a lot of the van lifers really appreciative of like the things that they're able to see, the places they're able to go.
Yeah, just the appreciation for life is just a huge aspect that you don't see in, our fast society today.
Ah, man, it just sounds amazing.
Hmm.
So there's this thing called partial van life. And the difference between like true van life and partial van life are partial van lifers, they still have their physical address. And every now and again, they go out and live the van life and then return back to their homes. And then with true van lifing, you forego all of that and you just are living out of your van.
Yeah, wow. That's crazy how like it really is moldable to each individual.
Yeah, super adaptable. That's really cool.
Hmm.
And then we can get into some of the van life statistics that I found here.
Yeah, so some of the statistics that we're seeing here is that about 51% of van lifers reside in their vans full time.
Dang, dude. So about half and half.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eh,
Interesting statistic for sure.
definitely. And then another one I got here is only 36% of van lifers live alone. Most, about 44%, live with one or more other people.
I'm really curious to see, like, out of that 44%, like, how many are actual, like, partners or actually in a relationship, and how many of those are just friends and people they meet?
Yeah, right. I'm not sure if we've gotten statistics on that, but I'm sure it's a combination of everything.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
super cool.
So moving along here, 43% of van lifers live in cargo vans, and 18% live in passenger vans. Only about 13% live in the iconic Volkswagen Hippie van, and 6% live in RVs.
Man, dude, the Volkswagen hippie van would be how I would do it for sure.
Sounds fun.
And then I got one here. The most common way to bathe for about 28% of the people is by utilizing a gym membership. The second most common for about 21% of people is with a built-in van shower. And I've seen these showers, Tony, and they are awesome. You kind of get a
Dude.
bag, you fill it with water, and you hook it onto your van, and you have like a little curtain, and then you can wrap the curtain around yourself and let the water run.
That's interesting, bro. That's a very interesting way to take a shower.
It seems so freeing, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
You could pull up on like a mountainside and then have a view of the mountain while you have a curtain around your sensitive areas.
Right.
And just take in the views.
Right.
Seems awesome.
Mm-hmm. About 39% of van lifers use public restrooms, while 35% have built-in van toilets.
The van toilets seem really gross, to be fair.
Yeah, I have no clue how that would work. At least like in the passenger van setup.
Right, right. In 2019, the US Census Bureau estimated that over 140,000 people are living in vehicles such as vans, RVs, and boats. It doesn't seem like that's a lot, but then when you stop to consider like how big of a number 140,000 actually is.
It's a decent amount. So, in a 2020 survey, the majority of people who would consider van life were millennials. About 31% were aged between 35 and 44, and 29% were aged between 25 and 34 years of age. I find it really interesting that a lot of people our age and even younger are really considering this type of lifestyle.
Yeah, me too, man. That it's such a young age to get into van lifing. A little over half of van lifers estimate they spend between 100 and 300 on gas every month as of 2019. So that has probably gone up in the last couple of years, it being 2022 now.
Oh yeah, gas prices everywhere, at least here in the U.S., are pretty high.
Definitely. So take that statistic with a grain of salt.
A block of salt, if you will.
Right. So a surprising amount of van lifers, about 38% of them, are able to get their campsite costs per month down to zero, with about 4% of van lifers spending more than 300 on campsites per month.
It's such a cheaper alternative to a lot of places here in the U.S., dude. Apartments are like double the price of that a lot of times.
Yeah, seriously, but I feel like you would almost have to be in the West to take advantage of these $0 campsites because there's not a lot of federal land in the East.
Yeah, yeah. States with most van lifers include California, Colorado, Florida, Oregon, and the state of Washington.
Okay, yeah, so that kind of reaffirms my suspicions about there being more $0 campsites in the West.
Definitely. Seems like it.
Nice. And then 50% of van lifers sleep. Oh, okay, so this stat confirms that even more. So 50% of van lifers sleep in either Bureau of Land Management land or national forests and grasslands.
I have very limited, knowledge of those places, but apparently they have $0 campsites.
And a lot of them have dispersed camping, which is where anywhere that you can get to, you're able to set up a campsite as long as you leave no trace.
Interesting. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's an awesome benefit of these protected areas.
It's also kind of fascinating that 79% of all van lifers convert the vans themselves.
You got to be a real crafty individual to do that.
Yeah, just designing and kind of just changing the layout of a van like that takes a lot of creativity, I feel.
I feel like it'd be a lot of fun.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And pets accompany about 40% of van lifers.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, traveling with your dog or your cat.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds fun.
Yeah, or even like your parrot.
A parrot? Why not?
Why not?
A ferret?
Yeah, a parrot, a ferret.
Any type of animal.
I love it.
Van life is popular to both males and females, about equally, with 45% van lifers being female and 55 being male.
Yeah, that's pretty astounding to me, man, that it's as close as it is.
It's a lifestyle that can appeal to everyone, regardless of your background.
I love it. And van lifers have all types of jobs, but some common occupations include remote workers, entrepreneurs, seasonal jobs, odd jobs, with about 4% of van lifers being retired, and surprisingly, 9% are unemployed. So they're taking advantage of those unemployment benefits.
It's a very kind of gratifying thing, I would imagine, that you work so hard for your business that you started, or the company you worked for, that you just kind of like just drop everything and just explore the world and nature.
And then you're able to take that time and really focus on yourself too.
Exactly.
Yeah. And since the COVID-19 pandemic, it appears that the number of van lifers has increased significantly. All these statistics came from thrivemyway.com/van life stats. And then just got a couple logistics here for van life. Everybody has to do their taxes. Van lifers are no exception. However, they probably, during tax season, stay in one city and probably work with a company or file themselves for free, depending on how complex they are. Because if a lot of them own businesses, they're going to have to maybe get a tax guy. So in that case, I think they kind of wait a month in a city and just do business with their tax guy.
Okay.
Yeah, and then everybody needs to get mail. So what I think a lot of van lifers are able to do is get a PO box and return to that city every now and again and check their PO box. Or they have multiple PO boxes in different cities.
So fascinating, man. I mean, everything we've just talked about, and then just kind of even the minuscule things you don't think about, like your mail.
Right.
Like it's like, oh, I have to go to another city to pick up my mail, or
Isn't
something like
that
that.
crazy?
That's crazy.
Man. And then a lot of the vans are equipped with kitchens or at least tiny refrigerators. But many van lifers go out to eat at various restaurants. So that has to be put into their budget for meals and food, snacks, pet food, all that kind of thing.
Right, right.
Yeah. And then if they are traveling with a pet, they have to worry about pet care, getting shots for their animals, uh,
Mm-hmm.
keeping up on their animals' food stores. And all of that is just a part of van life budgeting. So to be a van lifer, you have to be good at budgeting.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I would definitely need to work on if I ever to do this lifestyle.
Yeah, me too, man. Something that a lot of people think of with van life are the dirty sheets and the laundry.
How does that work?
So from what I could
Laundromats.
gather, yeah, laundromats.
Mm-hmm.
So different laundromat every city. So that would have to go into your budget as well.
Mm-hmm.
Another one that they have to deal with is bugs. Obviously, bug spray to take care of that, but making sure that their van is airtight to not let anything in is a big ordeal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, of course, their trash. They have to find public dumpsters. They have to get permission from restaurants to use their dumpsters, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then just some basic stuff like having your animal run around and then get real muddy and come into your van. You have to find a way to kind of clean them off before coming in.
Right, just keeping your area clean after you've been, hiking or exploring uh, all throughout the day, making sure that you can kind of take care of that, constantly.
Definitely, man. And then on that same note is doing things like the dishes, having a way to properly clean your plates, your forks. I'm sure a lot of van lifers use public bathroom sinks to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when that's it's all very cool, like finding different ways to solve a problem uniquely.
Right. So, Dale, I mean, there's a lot of upside. What are some of the things that you might have to worry about if you might consider um, this sort of lifestyle?
Yeah, so there's the obvious one, having your vehicle brake on you.
Right, right. Car problems, I would imagine, is a big deal.
Yeah, having to keep up with your oil changes, your tires. I'm sure it can get really expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to think like you put so many miles on that vehicle that in a couple of years you might have to get a new one.
Sure.
And then there's always the gas prices, and we're really feeling that in 2022.
Oh, yes.
Man, so unpredictable gas prices, very negative thing for van lifers.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of van lifers, they sleep in company parking lots such as Walmart. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the manager of a particular Walmart doesn't put up with that. So in the middle of the night, they'll get knocks on their windows from security and various unfriendly companies who don't support the van life lifestyle.
Right, and it kind of just limits to where exactly you can actually hold up for the night.
Right.
You know, I mean, national parks are great, but sometimes that's just not an option when you're in a city area.
Yeah, totally, man. But I do know that there are some companies that are very van life friendly. It all depends on the company. I'm sure there's websites that will let you know which ones are
Right.
good
Do
and
your
which ones are bad.
research.
Right, definitely. And then there's always the crime and the robbery. So when you're out on your own, you have to take care of yourself. You always have to be looking over your back, making sure you're not being followed by sketchy people, you're in safe areas, and so on and so forth.
Right, man.
And then you always have to make sure you're driving sober and you don't accidentally like go off the side of the road, or even if it's really rainy, you have to make sure that you don't get stuck in the mud or that you're always driving safe.
So yes, drive safely, drive responsibly, and if you can do research in the certain neighborhoods in the cities that you're in as you're traveling to know what areas to avoid and what areas are safe. Highly recommend you guys do that.
Awesome, man. And I think on that, that's our episode.
Cool stuff, guys. Thank you so much for listening to us today.
Dude, I'm really excited about this new format.
I am too. Let us know what you want us to talk about next in the comments.
And that's been Put It on the Board with Dell and Tony.
Thank you, guys.
We love you.